Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our One Piece podcast. Today we got the usual crew myself, Will, and Luke. We're going to be talking about two new chapters of One Piece 1028, 1029, as the raid rages on. Um, we start out with a very beautiful little color spread of an epic gamer moment where Usopp and Nami are playing some. It looks like Smash. Pretty fun.
Playing
Zoro as Link is so good. I think that's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, that is pretty epic. I
I like
like
I like Frankie as Donkey Kong. That's my favorite for sure.
yeah. Yeah, that one's cool. I like Usopp just chowing down on his gamer fuel.
Who is Robin supposed to be?
Pretty sure she's Morrigan from Darkstalkers.
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't play enough Smash to know who that is, or Nintendo games, I guess.
I think it's Capcom, but
Jinbei as Mario is probably pretty. It's
that that's the biggest stretch, but
that is
I'm here
cursed.
for
That is pretty cursed.
it.
yeah, that is cursed.
Is Sanji supposed to be Solid Snake?
I think he might be. Yeah.
It's pretty
Something
cool.
like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
like
got
that.
So
Chopper
stealth
as like
black.
the Splatoon guy.
Yeah, or like maybe
Oh, he's
like
got a
the little.
squid little hat on. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Oh, I don't know. I kind of thought he looked like a Charmander or something with like the little. I don't know, the red and like the. Kind of looks like he has a lizard mouth on over his head. I don't know though.
I could see it. I
Could
could see
be.
it.
Um, yeah, they're all pretty cool. Love these color spreads as always. Um, epic gamer moment.
Just like the rest of the chapter. Sanji
Yeah,
had his own epic gamer moment.
Yeah, he did.
I think there's
But
there's
first we have
a
Queen's epic
there's a
gamer
true
moment.
epic gamer moment that we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So well, we start off with like some discussion of CP0, who's they are just sort of watching over the fight.
Yeah. This is I was talking with Luke a bit about this and I saw an pretty apt comparison. CP0 here is just basically like they've been watching over the fight. We've kind of been getting some glimpse on them every probably like 10 or 20 chapters. It's been quite few and far between, especially recently. We have not seen a lot of them, but they were kind of like acting as almost like a surrogate for like a voiceover previously, just kind of going over what's going on with the fight and the
They're
odds
they're
of
pretty
each
much the
side.
announcer from
Yeah,
Dressrosa.
yeah, they're the announcer
Yeah,
basically, but they end up in this one pretty much like the second page. What I was talking with Luke about is literally CP0 is Team Rocket as of this point, and Nico Robin is Pikachu, and
yeah,
it's just it's constantly we've got to capture Nico Robin. It's just like when will you learn your lesson, old man? Like figure it out.
yeah. It's also interesting. I mean, that I am not worried. There's no way they're gonna capture Nico Robin. Like
Yeah.
that would just be silly if that happened again. But it is interesting that they say that like if Luffy beats Kaido, which they say is unlikely, but we know that's probably gonna happen
Hmm.
because we know that Luffy's the main character. They don't know that. Um, and they say that the world government is gonna annex Wano,
Yep.
and there
Yeah.
are already ships on the way just in case Luffy beats him. So I'm curious to know like might that be like what the next because in we're on Act 3 right now, and maybe Kaido gets taken down and we're still in Wano. Now we're fighting the world government.
I
Yeah.
I
think
could see that.
I think it'll be like kind of setting the stage. Maybe like I think we'll go to the next act or the next arc, but I think that'll be definitely like the in between period, and it might be like the background for the next few arcs with like a war. Because I think what's
Hmm.
probably gonna happen is this entire time Luffy's been getting the shit beat out of him, which has probably made all of his like his commanders, but not real commanders, his fleet members. They all have Viva cards of him. So they're probably like pretty worried if he's been getting the shit beat out of him. I'm sure those Viva cards have been burning quite a bit.
Oh
And
shit, I didn't even
I'm
think
I'm
about
sure
that.
those fleet guys are probably all on their way to Wano at this point. So I think that's probably what it's going to happen. They're going to clash outside Wano. They'll probably defend Wano as Luffy and the crew get away. They'll probably go and do whatever. I'm sure something will push them in a certain direction, whether that be Elbaf or something like that. But I think it'll end up with a clash between um, Luffy's captains and the world government, maybe even the rebels, the resistance, whatever they're called,
Revolutionaries?
revolutionaries. Yeah, our words.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's interesting to see where this goes. I can see it going a lot of ways, but um, I don't know. It just seems like if there were to be like two admirals coming on top of, we just fought two Yonko and all of these fights are going on. I don't know. It just seems like a lot to happen at once.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to the One Piece pace where it's, dragged out, and maybe Oda's trying to cap this off sooner than later. And I can't see a war happening that doesn't turn into like a gigantic war.
yeah.
Hmm.
I don't
Um,
think we'll see like those. I do think we'll see some admirals. I don't know which ones it'll be, but I don't think we'll see them defeated. Maybe like tricked or something. But I don't. I can't imagine Oda having at least the main crew fighting those admirals right away. Cause like
I don't even know if the admirals would be coming for Wano, just because like they said that they're only going to take them if the if Kaido is defeated. So they're kind of sounds like they're like anticipating like a power vacuum, and that's kind of how they're gonna take advantage of the situation. So they might not think that it's worth sending like the admirals who are like their strongest weapons. They might
mm,
just like
I don't know, but
send over,
still, if you're trying to
you
annex a
know,
country, you probably want like obviously it's if they only sent one admiral maybe, but you
maybe.
want to have some kind of strong force there. Like what
It
else
could
is the
be a good opportunity for us to see Green Bull, like the one that we don't know yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's interesting because it'll be weird. Like I don't know if I can see like I guess maybe if like the crew is in really really bad shape, them like leaving Wano, but I can't see them like just knowingly leaving Wano in like the hands of the world government, you know?
Hmm.
Right. Unless
So
unless there's a group of characters that stay behind and they feel comfortable just, getting the heck out of there. Like
yeah,
maybe Yamato stays behind and Marco stays behind. Uh, I feel like they would trust those two at least to take care of it.
Hmm.
yeah, I can see that, and like the scabbards and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
on the subject of the Nico Robin with Cypher Pole Zero, definitely a good opportunity for Brook to get a save Nico Robin moment because he's the only one that didn't get one of those really. I guess Jinbei didn't. Did he get one of those? I don't think Jinbei
What?
did really, but he also got a full fight scene, and Brook has not gotten a full fight scene. So I think Brook getting a kind of any slobby Nico Robbins, a crew member type of save fight against Cypher Pole would be pretty apt, I guess here, just because of that combination. He didn't get that moment in the past, and also hasn't had a fight scene really.
Yo, that would be lit. Brooke versus Rob Lucci.
Dude, that would be
That would
super cool.
that would be so unexpected.
Yeah, I want to see
Yeah.
Brook versus Cypher Pole would be pretty cool. Or just Brook and Nico Robin, because it looks like Nico Robin's like recuperated at this point.
She's getting her health back,
She
yeah.
doesn't need to be carried around at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what their role is going to be, like the world government at the end. Because I think it'll definitely be something where they swoop in at the end when Kaido's defeated, and we'll see if the crew engages with them directly. I kind of would rather like just I'd rather just them leave Wano. I don't really want a whole nother conflict in Wano just 'cause it's been so long already.
The next arc
But
is just Wano Country
I
2.
think it would get tiring.
Oh yeah, big
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And
Unless,
like,
yeah.
I'm like positive on the arc right now, but like I think that it did not need to be this long, and like it didn't need to take this long to get here. Um, so yeah, I would be frustrated if we were to stay in Wano after Kaido was defeated. But at the same time, this is kind of like all based on like a kabuki play, with the acts, and there are 5 acts in a traditional kabuki play.
Oh gosh.
Um, the last one, it like is like basically like a wrap up, like it's just like not, it's like an epilogue essentially.
Okay.
But you know, if we're sticking with that, it wouldn't shock me if like there was a prolonged conflict with the world government after this. But at the same time, I do agree with Luke saying that like it's hard to imagine like the conflict not spiraling out of control and becoming like the end game conflict, which we're definitely not ready for. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that endgame conflict, like I kind of mentioned earlier, would be like they could like introduce the endgame conflict and kind of have it in the background the whole time, and then like come back to it later in like a full-fledged thing. But like kind of have that
yeah, I could see
backdrop
that.
of, yeah, there's conflict going on all over the world right now between these crews, and the world government, and maybe they come across a few events of that, or just maybe it's like just news reports or something, and have the last few arcs play out during that, and then kind of come back to it and close it. Because
I
like,
would rather have that than like have like a really elongated war arc,
yeah,
um, which is kind of what people have been expecting for a while. Just because like I don't know, like I really don't care about seeing every single character that we've seen throughout the entire series like have another fight. Like we've kind of already gotten that. I'd rather just have like, and I think that recently a lot of the problems with like One Piece as a whole have been a less of a focus on the crew because they're focusing on all these other characters. And I
hmm
think an elongated war arc with everyone coming back would just make that problem worse. I'd rather have like more smaller scoped arcs that are kind of just focused on like the crew doing cool shit because it feels like we haven't had one of those in a while. All the
yeah,
arcs have had so many side characters and stuff.
I really want just after Wano, like I feel like it's been a while, like just like 5 chapters of the crew, just I don't know, maybe five is a lot. Maybe like 2 or 3 chapters of the crew on the Thousand Sunny.
Quick
Cause like
I
short,
I
we
a
just
we
quick
I
short
live
arc.
I live for those like character
yeah
interactions,
we
like
we
that's what
haven't
I live
gotten those
for.
in a long time, and I just like loved those. After in between every arc, you'd always guarantee like 2 or 3 chapters of them just kind of like interacting with each other on the Sunny, just kind of doing their own thing, and sometimes it'd be more important than other times, and it would just I don't know, it's just something we haven't gotten in a while, and I
I
don't know, it just
know.
feels like yeah, like you said, too much focus on like new characters, and like while I do love new characters and there are cool new characters, I just want to hang with the crew for a bit.
Yeah. Especially since like feels like we haven't really gotten a lot of that after like the time skip after they were split up.
hmm
And it's like that would have been such a good time to like have it is like after that to kind of like remind us of what it was like when the crew was all together. But it seems like after that we kind of just hit the ground running with all of this like world political stuff going into like all of like the different factions and things like that.
I
And
think
that's
my
interesting,
I
but
think Zoe had some good moments.
it
Um,
did, yeah.
off the top
So
of my
That was
so
head, like
nice.
them climbing uh, Zunisha was a good moment. There's a lot of interaction between the two, or between the crew. Just like
mhm.
generally when they meet up and stuff like that. I think,
Yeah, I'd say even the beginning of Wano was pretty good as far as interactions too.
but they're all split
Um,
up, weren't they?
not exactly. I'm talking more like the Sabo maker, the like Sanji doing that, and
Oh,
and
okay, yeah,
and,
yeah,
and Usopp selling his oil, like
yeah,
quips like that.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
not all serious,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I could see that.
but
Um,
I think unfortunately uh, that end war is gonna be exactly what you're thinking
Yeah.
because it's fan service and like you look at the popularity polls. I mean,
it'll
there's
be, yeah.
the Straw Hats are barely hitting like 30.
It'll be a who's who of the popularity polls for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just hope it's like I'm like fine like seeing what, everyone's up to and like how they're helping out Luffy. But what I would want is just like a quick kind of like montage of like, you can have one or two chapters where he's literally showing like every single person that Luffy's helped, but like for a panel or something,
Hmm.
just so that we know that we're there, we know that they're all like helping.
Not a whole
Not
character arc to.
Yeah. Like we've already had their character arcs,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
anything they do now is just going to be like the same stuff in a different setting. So
Okay, what if
I'd
it did the background war that I was mentioning earlier, but it was all the like it was like whatever arc we're in, so like Elbaf or something, but then you have like each cover, it's a cover story. Because we haven't gotten a cover story
that
in a
would be
while, I feel
cool.
like. But like a cover story, maybe like one cover story or like two or three cover stories per like battle that's going on around the world. That'd be pretty interesting.
That could be
At
a
the end,
really
Luffy
good
shows up
and
and
like
says,
unique
"This
way to do
war is over."
it.
Yeah, yeah. It just ends. The war ends just in the cover story.
Yeah. Oh my God, that would be amazing. I would be so down if we got just like chapters and chapters of character interaction to like where the war would have been. That would be fantastic.
Yeah. Back to the chapter, I guess.
Yeah.
We get a bit more with. Well, I guess yeah. Wrapping that whole thing up. Uh, Brooke does get a little. I don't know if those people are supposed to be. Are those people supposed to be Cipher Pole people that Brooke protects her from?
No, no, no. They're
Because
just
they've got the Beast Pirate
smiles, it looks like.
horns on, so.
Yeah, the one guy has a crocodile hand, so it definitely smiles.
Yeah, so he saves her from those guys, and she says, "You're so dependable, Brooke." She's not as thirsty for Brooke as is for Jinbei. So,
Yeah,
um,
sure.
and yeah, and then we get a little bit of Ryunosuke and Yamato kind of going back to that whole uh, Onigashima is a bomb and gotta save that. So I don't know. This kind of didn't. It's not this whole subplot hasn't really piqued my interest. It's kind of like I'm expecting it to go pretty smoothly and
Yeah.
Same here.
the tension is not there for me. I like
You
the interactions we get to see between the two, but that's pretty much
I like that they're putting Yamato into the Skull Dome while Momo figures this out.
yeah,
Because I think Yamato does have a lot more potential.
yeah. She's gonna be. I like the yeah, like you said, the potential of her being in the Skull Dome, and also like you can already see like when she transforms into her wolf form, somebody says like, "Oh, that's a huge wolf." So like, obviously people kind of got that already when she was running around. Like, who the hell is that? Like, what the like that's just this random person running around. She had a mask on, I think, before, but it's gonna be interesting. Maybe getting some interactions between her and Straw Hats that are running around.
Yeah.
I
I
think that like if Yamato is gonna join the crew, like people are saying, then I think we need more stuff from her because I think that you know, she's all right, but she hasn't really been the focus of the arc in a lot of the ways that like the other Straw Hats have
Yeah,
been in their arcs before they joined. Like Yamato has not really been set up that much in terms of like what her I don't know. I guess we know about her like personality and stuff, but like I
I,
just feel like yeah, we need
yeah.
we need to like connect with the rest of the crew before I would be like comfortable having her on the crew
You
because
should,
she
yeah.
doesn't really seem like, really be a great fit yet because I don't really know how she interacts with everyone.
And you usually get some kind of emotional moment. It doesn't have to be like a sad moment, but some kind of emotional moment with the resolution of arcs where characters are introduced. I don't think Jinbei
Hmm.
really got one of those, so maybe that's another kind of reason he doesn't feel as fitting
Yeah.
to some
Also,
individuals.
like
But
we haven't. I mean, we've seen glimpses into her past, but I'm still expecting like a Yamato Kaido flashback
yeah,
because
something to pull at the heartstrings probably.
yeah, and then also tell us more about Kaido because I
Oh
think
yeah,
I think both Yamato and Kaido are kind of like they have potential, but I still don't think that we've fully tapped that.
yeah. So
well, I've defended Jinbei before, but I gotta point out that we did get some emotional moments with Jinbei before he joined the crew,
with
considering
Ace,
he saved Luffy, like transferring the blood.
Oh yeah, you're
And
right. You're
yeah,
right.
and also he helped out Luffy after Ace died.
I think
So
the thing that like for me at least kind of maybe it feels like a lot of the other characters that are introduced, it's almost like a lot like their arc has flashbacks to those characters, and Jinbei doesn't really get the flashbacks because his arc is more in the present or all in the present.
mhm.
Besides like the stuff that he does with Ace, but that's still not even a flashback. So maybe just
Yeah.
in my mind it registers differently. But yeah, you're right. The uh, the blood transfer was a big moment in the Fishman Island arc.
Mhm.
Yeah, I actually do think that like at this point, like Jinbei had been more prepped to join the crew than Yamato is now. So like if the arc were literally to
Uh
end
oh.
next chapter and Yamato would join, I would be pissed. But yeah, I it would not be the worst thing in the world if Yamato joined the crew.
Yeah.
And I'm
Um.
still expecting more.
But yeah, and then we get.
Robin joined the crew without even interacting with any of them. She just kind of snuck on the ship.
She was
That's
she's
that's
definitely
true.
like she's a different structure to the whole crew
Yeah.
joining formula for
And that's
sure.
why I like Robin so much, like as like a so I mean I'm not saying that like oh every crew member has to like meet these check boxes or anything, but I think that like Robin did actually end up meeting those. It's just that like it happened later, and the fact that she was like kind of like set up as being mysterious and wasn't like sold as being like oh all of these people like just like all of a sudden like her now. She was like
Mhm.
set up as being oh like no one really like knows whether or not to trust her. Like Zoro, like had many lines in Skypiea where he was just like blatantly said, "I don't trust you, Nico Robin," and like, and then later when we found out her real story, and like it made it so much more impactful because you realize why she was being so mysterious and why she was so like hesitant to like open up and stuff.
And
So
also like before they found out her backstory and stuff, like when they are like being hesitant towards her, she does end up like they do end up trusting her like at least a little bit and like getting to see that growth, and that like kind of adds into the whole
yeah,
payoff of
yeah,
that a big time.
100% agree.
Yeah. And then the chapter concludes with some Queen versus Sanji, and a little
Yes,
bit of Chopper. Um, Queen
my boy
is
Queen.
Queen has been this arc and this chapter and the next chapter. He's been killing it. I like him a lot recently.
Queen has been on his Sigma grind set,
Yes,
bro.
sir. uh,
He is using some insane attacks that really remind me of why I love One Piece.
oh, he is a peak One Piece villain for sure.
Yeah, this is like the kind of villain that you only get in One Piece. Just super fucking goofy. Um, he's just like he's a madman, dude. He's crazy.
I
He's
love the
crazy.
fact. I think my favorite thing about him, like as crazy as the snake launching out of the dinosaur body is, and the poisonous gas and um the hitting his own people with his explosions, hitting himself with his own explosions. As crazy as all that thing is, I just love like how determined he is to see like the raid suit and how determined he is to learn anything he can about German 66. He's just like such like a weirdo being like, "Show me a damn raid suit."
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know,
because
it's just
he's like
like he's so invested in this technology and he wants to learn so much about it. He's just like doing all these wacky moves just to learn more about it. I mean, just and Sanji's like, "Leave me alone, you weirdo."
yeah, this is such like a great dynamic because
Yeah.
like Queen is he like has worked with like Judge Smoke Judge in the past, so he like kind of like you almost get the sense that he's like seeing him as like a rival and he like wants to know what he was able to
Yes.
produce.
Yeah.
And so he like sees like his fight with Sanji as like a way to like get there.
Hmm.
Um, it's super cool, and this is like yeah because it was set up in the past that they had like a history together. It all makes sense, and I just love all of his crazy attacks. Um, and yeah, I mean we see like the coolest one ever. I
Oh yeah.
I already loved the Brachio bomber that he did on Big Mom. That was like I was pretty sold on Queen from that point. But now we have just like we have like the craziest fucking attack where he literally
I
just
love
because
the setup for this attack. Holy shit.
yeah, just like
It's like
the
three.
fact that we just see the three panels of the side view, and um, and the fact that this could only happen because he is a cyborg and a dinosaur. Fucking awesome.
Uh,
And
I,
we get the brachiosaur hiss.
I just
Yeah.
So
I just want to give a shout out to Oda for finally settling the debate on how four-legged animals wear pants. And
that's true.
it's only the back two legs, and like it's like kind of like, yeah, it's kind of how you'd
Suspenders.
expect, but you never know. And then
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, those three panels, it's like two panels pretty much identical. He just lifts his tail up in one, and then he just shoots it out. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, "What the hell?"
I kind of lost it. Yeah.
Oh, I mean the reaction of everybody in the the reaction of Chopper and everybody is pretty on point there.
Yeah.
The
Is that is
Brachiosaurus.
that Marco?
Uh,
Or I don't know. He's got like a flame head.
I think that's one of Hogo,
Oh, I think it actually might be Marco because he's like right next to Izo, so that would make sense if
maybe, yeah.
on the right
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
yeah,
like
Yeah.
yeah,
that
yeah.
panel. Yeah, I think that's Marco because he's got the glasses and it looks like he's got like the pineapple hair. So
Yeah.
that's Marco.
Nice.
That's kind of funny.
Marco is shook.
I
Yeah.
would be too.
Yeah,
Um,
everyone is shocked, and Sanji is stuck in his
That
brachial
is
hole.
strange, even in the One Piece world.
oh
Yes.
yes. I mean, earlier this arc we had the helicopter, the Triceracopter, which is similar strangeness. I think this is a bit
Yeah.
stranger, especially because of the fact that he seems to be. He says like this is the true form of the dinosaurs, which is just like completely wrong. But like Oda
Yeah.
does not give a fuck. It's his
Yeah, it's
universe.
great.
This is how dinosaurs were.
It's it's single-handedly saving Onigashima for me. The
Yeah.
yeah, just the absurdity of it all. I love Queen. Queen's my boy. Um
Yeah. I was kind of doubtful on Queen in early on, but he quickly became one of my favorites in this arc.
He's been just
yeah,
wacky,
he's
dude.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, probably my favorite attack that we've seen so far
Oh, for
in the
sure. Yeah.
whole arc. Yeah.
I think
Um
as silly as Queen is, I think King is a very good balance of how serious he is, and like we kind of talked about it in the last few chapters, because King is more heavily featured in that. But I've been loving King's whole dynamic and his fight with Zoro as well. And this is kind of an almost opposite dynamic where it's like you have
yeah.
a completely not serious person that's talking constantly, where King is very stoic and just trying to win. So I
Yeah, and
very much
actually
like
like the
the
fact that
dynamic.
Queen is talking constantly actually leads to him getting hurt because he's like talking about the brachial launchers and he's like as soon as I mention them, they'll take aim and he's like, "No, I was just explaining the attack." No.
God,
That
that's
was
so
pretty
stupid.
good. Yeah, that was
Even Queen says how stupid. And just the panel
yeah.
of the body shooting the rocket is so dumb. Holy moly.
Yeah, it's
It looks
His
so silly.
legs.
Yeah, it's just legs and a torso, and
just completely still.
You see Queen's head and his top knot looking hair thing. Just
Yeah,
yeah.
great.
And Sanji breaks a sword on
And
his neck.
then
Yeah, we got
and then
Sanji's awakening, I guess, is what I would call it.
oh Lord.
I know
Yeah,
I
then
already
we
know
get
Kyle's not a big fan of this.
Sanji with the exoskeleton. I mean, I don't know. During Whole Cake, I was very worried when they introduced like all of Sanji's like superpowered siblings, like genetically enhanced siblings that were given all their powers by their dad. That like that there would be a retcon that Sanji's like Diablo Jambe would be like one of them would be retcon to be, oh, the whole time it was because had this elemental attack. I'm glad that Oda did not do that, and I think it's probably because he realized that he already gave an explanation for it. Um, in the SBS where he said it's because of Sanji's heart burning so bright, which is great, and it should never change. It should always be for that reason. So I mean, it's not the worst thing because it's not like taking a power that already exists and giving us a different reason for it, but it's still like I don't know.
I don't know.
Sanji
I'm
didn't earn this power. Like he just sort of like got it for some reason. Like I don't know like why. I guess like it might be because of like his use of the raid suit, but like he didn't even really use the raid suit. He hasn't used it since he fought um
X-Drake.
well, I guess he used it a little bit like to like zip around the place earlier. So it might be because of that. But I don't know. It just seems like why? Like why does Sanji have to get a power that he didn't even earn?
I mean, I at least like. There's two things that I like about it. Like, I'm okay with it, kind of, because apparently it's like the same powers that his siblings already have. So it's not like
Hmm.
like anything crazy that nobody's ever seen before. That he's like the only one that has this. Like, it's something that him and his siblings were all given when they were super young. Before, I'm sure before they were not, before they were like aware of it.
Yeah.
And he was the one that it didn't work in, and so he was picked on, and like he was never really understood fully, I guess, why. But I also kind of like it because like he doesn't want it. He's kind of fighting against it. He's like, I don't want these powers, and that's mainly for the reason that he thinks it's going to be taking away his emotions, which is yeah, pretty bad for Sanji because Sanji is a very emotional person. And that's kind of something he's fought against his entire life for. He doesn't want to be the cold robotic people that his brothers and sister are. So I kind of like the fact that he doesn't really want these powers because he's kind of scared of what they might bring in him. I kind of will wait to see exactly the full extent of them. As of right now, we've just seen the exoskeleton, I think, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Basically just like he's more durable and he can
yeah,
like
He
yeah,
can heal his
he
broken
can heal
bones.
himself.
yeah.
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 So
But it's like now that just gives Chopper less things to do because he can heal himself.
so
And we
Oda's
already know that Chopper has a problem with having things to do.
Oda nerfs Chopper yet again by buffing Sanji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um,
I don't know.
and
It leaves a bit of a bad taste in my mouth.
yeah, I don't know. I think I'm relatively indifferent towards it. I'm curious if they tie this in with the whole Lunarian thing, because that's been mentioned and kind of dropped since then. So I'm curious if the climax of the Queen Sanji fight will have Queen giving some back lore on um, his maybe his time with Judge and like the Lunarian DNA or something, and that's where this all comes from. I don't know. It's something that hasn't
Oh
been
God.
mentioned in a few chapters, but yeah, I don't know. I do like how it, like I mentioned earlier, it kind of spurs Queen to. Sanji runs away from Queen because he's like, I don't know what the hell's going on with me, and you need to stop bothering me right now. I need to run away and figure the hell what the fuck's going on right now. And Queen just chases him around. He's like, please show me what the fuck's going on right now. I need to see that judge power right now. Show me your Germa 66 technology. And he just chases them all around, and people are like, what the hell's going on? Why is Queen chasing that person around?
Yeah, I do like that. I do
Hmm.
like the chase scene between Queen and Sanji. Pretty nice.
Show me what Germa science can do.
Yeah. It's just like I don't know. I just am not a fan of like that, especially because that was one of the like appeals of Sanji was that he's just a guy. He doesn't really even use weapons. He just like uses his own shit. He doesn't have a devil fruit or anything like that that makes him really strong. And then now it's kind
King
of like
of
we're
One
just
Piece.
yeah. I don't know. I just would rather like and like the the power up that he got in Eni's lobby with like the fire and stuff. It's like that's something that he just like creatively he came up with. Um, and I'm like cool with that. Like it doesn't need to have like a oh this could never happen in real life because like humans already survive like insane attacks all the time, like explosions and stuff, and like it doesn't matter because it's just a shonen. Like it's just One Piece logic.
Hmm.
But I don't like the fact that we're now like giving Sanji like that, but more, and it's like not even because he like particularly like worked for it or like he leveled up his armament hockey or whatever. It's just because always had it, and it's just awakening now for some reason.
Yeah, I'm curious if they go into why it awakened because him getting it like on the verge of or like after getting beat up in a fight kind of I think that's probably my least favorite thing about it. Like it's not like him trying to innovate or anything that kind of awakens it. It's just
Yeah,
him
yeah.
getting
It's
his
not because
ass
like of
beat
anything that she did.
by Queen.
Yeah. And
Um,
yeah, and we already had like a power up for him on deck, which was like
the
the
raid suit.
raid suit, which he didn't even use in this fight yet. So I'm like curious as to like why we even needed this.
I
Like
think
that
the
would have
raid
made
suit
more
might
sense,
just turn into a stealth suit going forward.
maybe. It just I don't know. It could have been so much more. Like it could have been like some like because they gave it to him at the end of Whole Cake, and it was like oh like it could have been something where it's like oh when is he gonna break it out? When is he gonna use it for a big power boost? And it seems like the only real benefit it gives him is that he can like fly with it and turn
I feel like it should have
invisible.
been
Unless
one of
he
the.
just
Well, go ahead.
he unless he just fully embraces the Germa double six after this and just goes full on like I'm embracing it. I'm wearing my suit and everything now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think that he didn't really need this to happen in order for him to have embraced it, though. I don't know. He
I
could have
could.
had something where it was like he was a fight where he was really pushed to the limits, and he's like, okay, well, do I decide to like go with this personal hang up I have, or should I, prioritize the success of my crew and like my
Hmm.
captain over that?
Yeah,
Which
that's
would have been like a better like character moment,
yeah, I
I
agree with
think,
that.
rather
I
than
think
something that was just forced upon him.
I think it as like a narrative thing for Oda, like it could have easily been just like one or the other. Like you could have easily like just built up like this exoskeleton like awakening moment going forward and completely just ditched the raid suit, or you could have gone full with the raid suit and just not done this exoskeleton thing. Um,
Yeah,
I feel like having both clouds things and just makes it weirdly unnecessary, I guess.
100% agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it should have
And I
just
would
been
have rather
either
have
one
it.
or
I
the
would
other.
have rather had it been the raid suit because then that would have been like a conscious decision for Sanji to make, and
Yeah,
it would have been like kind of like a good character moment for him too.
yeah. Um, I really like the panel of Sanji running towards the camera and you just see fat ass Queen in the hole in the wall background.
I do
Yeah.
like that, and and I this doesn't make me like any of the Queen bits of this fight any less because Queen is fucking awesome.
um,
What if he's developing his armament hockey and he's just thinking it's the Germa double six?
it could be that. I mean, we have like fighting a more powerful opponent does improve your hockey, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I just think that well, I mean, Queen explicitly says that wasn't hockey, was it? Was that armament hockey? That wouldn't explain it.
Okay.
So I think it's like probably not. It'd be
yeah.
pretty weird if they like backpedaled on that now. But
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. I think that fight's probably getting wrapped up relatively soon.
yeah,
Probably go
I
back
think
to
it'll
the
probably
Zoro fight
be
first, and then finish this one up, and then finish the Zoro one fight. I'm guessing because we only have those two fights, and we've got the Big Mom fight. I think that's because we just wrapped up. I guess we've got whatever Brooks fight's probably going to be one of those. But
maybe.
they
I
might
don't
save
know if
that
Brook will get a
towards.
fight.
They might if they have that. They might save that honestly towards after the Kaido fight or like during the Kaido fight as like a could even be like a comic relief fight. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, there are like minor fights that have been teased, but I don't know if they've. Did we ever get the resolution of the fight with Rizo and like the earlobe guy? I don't think that like we saw Rizo win, did we?
no. And
No.
I know,
I
I
don't really
know,
care about that fight,
I know. As soon as
but
that fight comes into a chapter, I'm gonna be so sad because that's probably half a chapter on that fight, and I'm gonna be like, oh, could have been half a chapter on something else.
I mean, it could be cool if we see like weird earlobe powers, but as far as like the character, I don't care about the ninja guy at
Yeah,
all. Like
at this
the
point, I
the
just
earlobe
want to see
guy.
the heavy hitters.
Also, this is like from a really long time ago, but they did tease that like Drake and Apu were gonna fight, but that has not been touched in even longer. So I have no clue if that's still happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apu's still out there.
Yeah.
Also, we need to wrap up the Shogun.
Yeah, that too. I would love to see Momonosuke fight Orochi. That would be
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
that,
I
that's
think
that's what I really care about for Momonosuke. Like right now, what he's doing is kind of just like he's he just has something to do right now. But I think that I do still have faith that he will be the one to like finally defeat Orochi. So I am looking forward for that.
I think that'll
Looking
be a
forward to
big
that.
moment in front of a crowd where Momo
I
is.
think so too. It'll be everyone will see it, and everyone will be like, "This is the new Shogun of Wano," and
Yeah.
it'll be awesome.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say
And
that's
then
Odin.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, they'll be like, "Oh my God, it's
Odin's
Odin." It's like,
back.
no, I'm Momonosuke.
Yeah.
Moden.
Um,
Momoden.
and actually, like, no one will think it's weird because they'll just be like, "Oh shit, you were alive this whole time," because like he would be that age if Toki didn't send him forward in time.
True.
Yeah.
So everyone will just be like, "Oh, you must have returned," and they won't have to like explain any of the time shenanigans or anything like that. And maybe that'll be like a joke is that like no one expect like none of like the populace like expects Momo to like have the brain of like a I don't know 8-year-old, but he does. That could be
Yeah.
funny. I could see
And
that.
we have to get the slapstick joke of him trying to get in the bath or something with Nami
Yeah,
and Robin,
definitely,
or
definitely.
nuzzling up next to them.
Yeah,
That's definitely in the cards, and it'll be
yeah.
great.
I am looking forward to like Momo in the future for both like a good conclusion to his character arc. I think that there's something there, and then also good jokes.
Yep.
So yes, can't wait for
Um,
that.
and yeah, and then the next chapter finishes off with pretty good sequence of events with Big Mom, Kid, Killer, uh, and Law. I actually like this
Yes,
this half of the chapter quite a bit, just
and
because.
She
and Hawkins
surprised me
and
as
Hawkins.
well.
Yeah, I thought I said Hawkins, but I guess not. Yeah,
Oh, I
I
don't know.
was
Maybe you
actually
did.
very surprised. It's something we talked about previously, how the fight was going to conclude, and I think we mentioned the fact that Law or Killer does not have the arm, or sorry, fuck, Kid does not have the arm, so that's like
Hmm.
that's a obvious target for Killer, but just like I don't know, I just really liked the interaction between Killer and Hawkins. Killer
Me
doesn't
too.
hasn't been like one to talk a whole lot in the past, I guess. This arc maybe more, or this maybe the last 10 chapters we've gotten a bit more out of him, but Hawkins has always um, been kind of an interesting character just because he's kind of like a almost a mercenary type of thing, kind of going with whoever thinks is gonna win, but also not in a wishy-washy way. Like he's fighting his hardest for who he's with. Um, it seems like that, I guess. I don't know. And yeah, it's a nice kind of a thinking battle, which is always nice to see. Killer's got to do some thinking before he fights Hawkins, and I think it's executed pretty well.
Yeah, I also like how like we see the effects of um like the Hawkins Killer fight in like the Kid Law Big Mom fight because
Yeah.
Kid is like completely debilitated. His head is hurting. He has like a really bad migraine because of Hawkins like voodoo powers, which are pretty cool. And so he is not able to perform at his fullest. He's kind of getting a little tossed. Um, Law also too is getting burned with Prometheus. So yeah, they're trying to cover for each other, and they're just kind of getting bonked by Big Mom. Um, but yeah, I like how I like the Kid. I just like Kid and Killer in general, and I like this fight too. Like it's good. I like how he has to like figure out the counter, figure
Hmm.
out the weakness, and exploit it. Um, and it is pretty fucking cool that he just literally cuts off Hawkins' arm. Like
Yeah,
that
that's
is
an
pretty
awesome
sick.
panel.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a great panel.
I I was kind of laughing because like he's uh, like he asked the most obvious question. Killer asked the most obvious question ever. He's like, what would happen if I hit you in the attack and there was nowhere for the attack to go? And like, I feel like Hawkins should be like, oh shit, kid doesn't have an arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hawkins not really on his 100. He's kind of like on his like low IQ for this fight, but I don't know. I think it kind of makes sense for Hawkins because Hawkins is like so reliant on his ability to like ask the cards something
hmm
and then like he gets a response. But it always like I was always like wondering, okay, like, but if Hawkins isn't like smart enough to like think of the right question to ask the cards, then like he's not going to be able to make the best decision. And I feel like that's kind of like what's happening here is like he wasn't thinking, oh, like he didn't think about that, and he's kind of been so used to relying on this power of his that he doesn't think outside the box in the same way that Killer is in this fight. So
Yeah.
I think it makes sense, kind of like from a um, I don't know, like a perfectly logical standpoint versus someone who's more unpredictable, like it looks like Killer is here. So
Yeah. I really like. Well, we mentioned the panel with his arm getting cut off. That's an awesome panel. Honestly, this fight has a few really good panels. I
yeah, it
love the
really does.
panel with the Annihilation card panel, and then the panel after that where he uses the claw and guillotine. That panel with the straw figure with the scythe just running right at Killer, and then the panel of the that same straw figure scythe getting just chopped in half.
Yeah,
So cool, and you just see Killer with two spinning blades in the middle of it.
yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, and also I love how like Hawkins is like really really expressive in this chapter.
Yeah.
Like he makes a lot of really good faces. Like he looks really pissed in one, and then like right after he gets his arm cut off, he's just like ah, his like mouth is like so wide, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, yeah, dude, like you just got your arm cut off, and this guy is like someone who probably is not used to like taking a lot of physical damage because he can just offload it to like other people.
He's
So he is kind of a bitch in that sense,
He's
and
definitely been more stoic, and he's like one of the more calm or cool, calm, and collected people in the past.
yeah, and it's cool like to see him like freak out.
hmm
Um, yeah, I really liked Hawkins in this fight, and I also like thought Killer was really cool too to see a
Yeah,
little bit more about him and him helping out his captain like a good crew member should.
yeah. I
Yeah,
liked seeing that for sure, because like he's supposed to be the Zoro
yeah,
to Kid's Luffy, so getting to see that partnership was really cool.
yeah, really sick. Yeah, I liked this fight a lot actually. It's actually one of the cooler fights
I agree.
in that it was like there was some thought. It was a he put together a counter to his strategy, and it was nice.
Need a
And it was
Beppo
also
fight.
with the oh, go on.
Said now we just need a Beppo fight.
Yeah. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Beppo just seems there's sometimes where I forget that Law has a crew just because he seems
Yeah,
like
Law's crew
so
stinks.
he's just like yeah.
Law's crew stinks. Beppo's
Yeah, they
there, and
do.
that's pretty much it.
Beppo's the only one that has a name, I think.
Honestly, like
Yeah.
I feel like his submarine's the coolest part about Lost Crew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I
Yeah.
think that might be the next fight we go to. If I
Is
had to choose one, I think that fight
what the Big
is
Mom one?
Big Mom fight is on the
I think we're gonna
cards.
get that too, because like it ends with like, oh, I drew the Tower card, which is like great change and a people of the established order, and um, it shows Kid, and so I think that
Kid's feeling
Kid is
good.
gonna get even stronger because of this card. Because like we saw earlier that Hawkins cards can like actually not only predict fate, but also like affect things that are happening.
hmm
Because at the very beginning when he like showed up and he was fighting Luffy and Zoro, um, he like drew a card and it was like something about like infighting or something, and then all of the beast pirates that he was with just started fighting each other.
Yep.
So I think that like this is gonna make Kid really strong. Maybe he'll get some sort of power up or something. Maybe that's what it's alluding to, or maybe he'll just punch really, really big. He'll get a lot of metal. Um, you know what I really want to happen?
What?
That like I don't know if it's gonna happen, but like I really wanted to because when they showed like Onigashima, like when they were entering Onigashima, and it was like everything was fucking huge. Remember there was like the huge like torii gates, and there was just like randomly like a giant katana that was just like it was just there. It was just like in the ground. It would be so cool if like Kid with his magnetic powers like picked up the katana and like just tossed it at Big Mom. Like that would be so fucking
That'd be
sick.
pretty cool.
And it just like broke through the fortress. Like that could be that could be something that the tower card could enable, I think.
I
So I
think
don't know if it's like still there because like I don't know if that was like part of like Onigashima like before it got picked up or after. It might be. Hopefully, it's still there, but that would be cool. I want that to happen.
um
But yeah, I feel like we haven't seen it enough for it to be like 100% like, oh, that's what Odie's doing. But I think it'd be cool.
I think Law is going to have a very big part in this fight. And something that I thought about that also saw a comment about, which is a bit of a history thing, is that like obviously like her sword is named Napoleon, and
Hmm.
Law's full name is Trafalgar D. Waterlaw, which has two
Oh, I saw
references.
this. Yeah,
Yeah, so Trafalgar, the Battle of Trafalgar was a naval battle between the British and the French and the Spanish. Horatio Nelson was the British admiral for that, and that was a pretty important battle in the Napoleonic Wars. And then obviously the Battle of Waterloo, D. Waterlaw. That's a reference to the Waterloo, which is where Napoleon was defeated. So I think
Hmm.
he maybe this might be maybe the climax of I think because Law's been with the crew for a long time up to this point. I think after this arc, this could be like the culmination of him with the crew, and then he kind of
please
goes off and
get
does
the
his
law
own
the
thing.
fuck out of here. I do not want law anymore. Like let this
I
be it.
think this could be like his big thing is defeating Big Mom with Kid's help, obviously,
Yeah.
and then he kind of definitely goes off and does his own thing. That would live up to his namesake. I don't know. I guess he's kind of still. Does he have any arc to go through? His arc was kind of all Doflamingo and
Yep.
Yeah, his
Dressrosa
He
arc is
stuff.
over.
his whole thing is he wanted to take down Kaido.
Yeah, so I think yeah, that would be very fitting. And also, I'm kind of a I do like Law. I think I like Law more than Kyle does, but I am also of the same opinion. Like I'm okay with him. We don't need more Law.
Yeah.
Law's been like an unofficial crew member for a while, and that kind of gets tiring after a bit. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. He's too serious for the crew.
Yeah, I think
Um,
we've kind
and
of
it's
covered
not
that
fun.
in previous episodes, but
Yeah, definitely. I don't need to go into it again, but
yeah.
yeah, also I think that like another thing I saw like a comment that was pretty much the same thing about like all of like the Napoleonic references. And one more is that like um at the end of the Napoleonic Wars, Napoleon was like exiled to an island called Elba,
Elba. Yeah, Elba. Yep.
Elbaf.
I actually hadn't thought about that, but Elba is that would be interesting. That would have to play the Big Mom of some sort, but that would also
Yeah.
probably mean, well,
Maybe they like
that would
defeat her
be.
and she's exiled to she's forced to escape to Elbaf, or like she's exiled to Elbaf or something,
Oh my
because
gosh, can you
that's where her
imagine
story
just?
begun.
Yeah, can you
So it
imagine
would kind of
another
make sense
arc?
with
That would
Big
mean
Mom.
Law stays with the crew for another arc, and the culmination of his arc takes place on Elba or Elbaf, and we've get. I'm gonna guess there'd probably be a few more Napoleonic references going in there. If that's gonna be like the whole culmination, we'll have Elbaf with Napoleonic, or Napoleon with the sword, the Trafalgar, uh, the Waterloo. I'm sure there'd be a few more thrown in if that's gonna be the culmination of Elbaf, because I think Big Mom going down on Elbaf is probably that's a pretty good bet. I'll be honest, because like her
Yeah,
backstory has to do with that. So
I agree,
that seems like
but
a good shot, but also no
I
more
don't
Law,
know.
please.
I can
no more
totally
Law.
see both of them going down this arc.
Yeah,
Both.
I can see both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I really don't think that Big Mom needed to be in this arc. Like it was
I
pretty unnecessary.
I
I didn't either, but I see it as a way for Oda to just be done with the emperors.
Yeah.
Like this was the Emperor arc, and hopefully this is the end. Kaido's defeated, Big Mom's defeated. Okay, we've got the new generation taking over the seas.
Yeah, and yeah, the remaining emperors you've got are Blackbeard, who's kind of being set up to be the big bad, the final boss. Which so it wouldn't be really a clash with it wouldn't be a clash with the emperors as much. It would be a clash with the big bad. And you've got Shanks, who's another emperor, but he's also kind of being set up to be a friend. So he's not
Yeah.
really set up to clash with him. So yeah, I could definitely see this being like the last hurrah for the clash of the emperors, and then it kind of moves past that.
Or
I could see that too.
the collapse of the old and brittle,
Yeah.
making a new way forward. I mean,
Mhm.
it's yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
Mhm.
I wouldn't like. I'd also be happy if it meant that we were like off of the law train for a while or if forever. Um,
No more, he
but
says. No more.
yeah, no
No,
more law.
dude, I totally think Law's gonna come back with his fruit.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that he will like definitely be relevant again, but I think that like these past arcs have just been like Law telling the crew what to do, and I'm tired of it, sick of it. I want them to go to Elbaf because Usopp wants to go to Elbaf and Luffy wants to go to Elbaf, and they know that they could have a great adventure there and meet all the cool giants and stuff. Like that's what I want out of One Piece is like a little bit more just like exploring for the sake of exploring stuff, not because it's all part of Law's master plan.
Uh, but yeah, this fight was actually like a very pleasant surprise, and I I I really enjoyed it. I'm excited to see the rest of the Big Mom fight. Um,
Me too. I think it's going to be pretty like um
I
pretty
think it
kid
should be
heavy
a
too
yeah, I think it'll be
because
pretty kid
like at
heavy.
the end it like when it's talking about the upheaval of the established order, the panel that it's showing is
Is
kid.
kid, yeah,
And I mean like maybe it's just because this fight was Killer and so Killer is like thinking about Kid because they're on the same crew, but I don't know. I think this could be a really good time for Kid to shine, especially since like also like what changed in the fight between Big Mom and like the two of them in the like during this chapter was well now Kid can fight at his full potential.
yep,
So I think that that'll be good. I'm
yeah.
excited for that. I want to see
This is
more.
gonna be a very team battle, though.
Very what?
I think so too. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be one of them taken
Yeah,
down taken down
and
because I
and
mean
we saw them working pretty good together, even against Big Mom earlier.
Mhm.
mhm.
So
And if they do take down Big Mom, like I would be satisfied with like the fact that it took two of them to take down Big Mom. Like I think that Oda's done enough in like making Luffy stronger and selling the fact that like Kaido has literally been fighting really top tier fighters since like the raid started. And so he's pretty worn down at this point. So I don't have a problem with Luffy soloing Kaido at this point because at this point, can you even really say that it was like a solo fight
No.
considering that he's taken so much?
Yeah.
But it'll still feel like that because Luffy's gotten a lot stronger, and he's gonna there's still a lot of blows left to go. So I think that that'll feel really nice. But Big Mom has not sustained nearly as much damage, and she was set up in the last arc as having this whole thing. You have to you know she's very hard to damage. You have to like do specific things to damage her with like the picture and stuff. So I think that like if they both take her down, it would feel good and
Yep.
it'd be justified. It'd be better than one of them taking her down alone. So yeah,
Yeah, I agree. Well, it's the other panel that's pretty good is the Killer doing his backflip move, and then
yeah, yeah.
Hawkins laying dead. Killer gets so many good panels in
Get
this.
like a bunch of really good panels at the end of this
Yeah.
fight. Cool. Good job,
Um,
Oda.
he and at the end of it, we'll have our four emperors still:
True.
Luffy, Shanks, Kid, and Law.
Or Usopp.
What about Blackbeard?
Oh, right. Well, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
Maybe
at
not.
the end of
Maybe
this
not
arc,
Law.
if
Maybe
they
not
both get
Law.
taken down.
or kid maybe, not even, because he doesn't really have the territory and everything else.
No, it'll be Luffy, Shanks, Blackbeard, and Buggy.
Yeah, could be.
What's Buggy
Oh,
up to
God.
right now? We don't know.
We
We don't
don't
know.
know. He's
He's
he
scheming,
he
I'm
he
sure.
he finally got the light of day, becoming Shichibukai, and now they're disbanded.
Yeah. I think Buggy's looking for his next. He's trying to figure out his next big scheme in
His
order
next
to.
big grift.
Yeah.
Whether it is an intentional grift or not. Yeah, that's all I have for these chapters. We've got another one this week, and I think I don't know if we've heard if there's gonna be a break or not next week. I don't know if there's been leaks or anything, but
Either.
we shall find out. Probably yeah. So I'm excited for the next few chapters. I'm sure it'll be some good fights.
Yep. Me too. Kid
All right.
next chapter. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, some kid next chapter. All right. That'll do it for us. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.